Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just welcome Sharad. Sharad, I have not taught him, but yes, he was in the same school as I'm working. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
Uh,
Upasana, are you there? Yeah. Upasana,
yeah.
can you please welcome Sharad? Sharad, I hope you're there. I can see your photo. I can see your DP.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, Upasana, please
Uh,
introduce him.
Flying Lieutenant Sharad Sankar is an alumnus of APS Dholakwa. He is a student of DPU and then joined the Indian Air Force in the stream of fighter stream, in the fighter stream.
Yeah, so hi, Sharad. How are you? And I'm seeing you after very long. Last year, I think you came to school to meet all of us. So,
Yes, ma'am. It's so
yeah,
good to see all of them together at this place.
yeah.
And
So, when are you getting
whatever
married?
ma'am said earlier,
When are you getting married? Let me
uh,
ask you that first.
it is getting postponed, ma'am, due to the present scenario.
Yeah,
But I'm sure I'll get married this year. I hope to get married this year.
yeah. So you can do, small ceremony, and you just first you get married, and then we can party later. है ना?
Of course, definitely,
I
ma'am.
just want to tell
Definitely.
others that, of course, I've not taught Sharad, but Sharad's sister Athira, she's very close to my heart. I was her teacher, and right now Athira, she is a doctor. She has done her medicine from Manipal, and so very, very proud of both of them. Yeah. So, Sharad, just tell me that you were to become an engineer. And so, did you complete
Yes, ma'am.
your engineering degree or you joined Air Force before that?
I did complete, ma'am. I completed my engineering in engineering physics from Delhi Technological University.
Yeah, yeah.
And post which I had given my SSB for all three services. That is, I had given for CDS, and thereafter I had applied for UES entry scheme for Navy and also AFCAT.
Okay, okay. So,
So all the three, yes, ma'am.
yeah, just continue, please.
Yeah, so all the three entries I had given. So all the three entries I had cleared the written exam, and I had given the SSB for all three. I was recommended for Navy as a pilot. I was also recommended for in AFCAT entry as a pilot, and again in CDS entry as pilot again. So now I have which gives permanent commission, as Jagriti ma'am had already brought out earlier.
Yes.
In the academy in June 2015.
Okay. And how difficult is your training? I mean,
Ma'am, per se, Air Force, in comparison to Army, Navy, and if you compare Air Force training per se is a little on the lesser side as compared to Army and Navy in terms of physical training.
okay, okay.
But if you talk about a pilot training, it is an entire different ball game altogether.
Hmm. Has to be.
I mean, you have to go through the daily routine of an academy. On top of that, you have to have that aptitude for a pilot. That is, the learning curve of a pilot is very steep. Right from the academy till 1.5 years of training, which they generally take. So that curve is very steep. So to imbibe whatever you are getting, and to learn all these things, to learn to fly for the first time, and then graduate onto higher levels, you require that aptitude, and that has to be made.
So,
So that is the most difficult part. So that is the most difficult part in a pilot's training, that I would say.
okay. But now when you see yourself, like, I mean, what are the changes that you have seen yourself, or you feel that as a corporate person you would be, and right now as a pilot you are?
As a corporate person, ma'am, I personally consider it to be a 9 to 5 desk job, but that is not the case because my would-be is in IT sector herself. I have seen her work hard, but the difference, what a pilot, I mean, the training of a pilot comes is that you tend to make decision in split second of time.
Yeah.
So you learn to accept things, you learn to accept realities, and then you have to make that second decision in that second. So I think your decision making capability increases. You can handle a lot of stress, you can handle a lot of pressure, and still produce output.
Okay. So,
I think that is something. I think that is something that a pilot requires,
okay.
especially in a fighter stream.
Okay, so what would you suggest for the kids? Like, how do they know that whether they have this aptitude or not? I mean, will they have to go through this and then they understand, or what
No,
kind of
ma'am. No, it is.
mental? Yeah, yeah.
It is not necessary to go through, ma'am. I believe, they should opt for it. They should experience it firsthand to understand that whether it is made for them or not. In the first 6 months itself, in the first 6 months of the pilot training itself, he as an individual and maybe his instructor will come to know whether he has that aptitude to graduate for military aviation per se.
Okay, okay. And so
Because
you.
the curriculum is such that whatever you face in those first 6 months of pilot training is it's an extension of what you're going to face in the future.
Yeah. Okay, okay. And being a pilot, so I'm sure you have a lot of discipline to take care of. Suppose you,
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of discipline, self-discipline that has to be there.
Absolutely, ma'am. If the briefing is, suppose the briefing is tomorrow 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 say. So you need to have that 8 hours of rest, 8 hours of sleep mandatorily. Sleeping like 9 o'clock in the night, or maybe 8:30 in the night.
So I'm sure your.
It is sure shot.
Uh-huh.
It is sure shot going to affect your flying the next day.
If you don't have those number of hours of sleep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
that discipline you need to follow.
Okay. Now the very personal question. I'm sure your fiance is not fighting with you that she's unable to speak to you till late in the night, or a very personal question.
It is absolutely the problem, ma'am. But I am thankful that she is very understanding in these aspects, and she has been always supportive of my job, my work, and of course I make it up on Saturdays and Sundays. But during the weekdays, it is very difficult for me, and she understands that.
That's truly great. And wasn't your parents scared when you joined Air Force and then you went to the fighter stream?
Of course, initially they were a bit hesitant when I told them that I have applied for fighters and I've got fighters. But when I told them that it is military aviation and it is basically the crux for which you come into Air Force. No, it is like a dream come true type of thing for me. It was a dream come true type for me, and maybe for everybody else who comes into fighter stream.
Okay.
So when they realized that, I think they became supportive. But still, yes, they are a little hesitant, and they always call up and ask if I get late in calling them. At kya hua, kaise hua.
So Sharad, thank you so much. I'll come back to you, and God bless. And I wish you soon get married, and we also come and attend your marriage.
Okay. Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes. Now I would like to welcome Zoravar, Lieutenant Zoravar Singh. Upasana, please welcome Zoravar also. Hi, Zoravar. So good to see you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Yeah, I was supposed to welcome him. I would love to do that. Well, now Zorawar is an alumnus of APS Dholakwa, and he was the head boy. And I've seen him since the time he was in class 7. Yes,
Ma'am, way
2009.
before that.
Yeah. So a little kid actually, and I've actually seen him transform from a little boy to an officer. And it's like really, really amazing. And he has actually taken a total U-turn. He used to be a very cute little boy, and from there he has turned out to be a very fit and a very strong guy, both physically and mentally. Yeah, and he has you joined us 2 years back.
Ma'am, I got commissioned last December only. I had
Last
joined it in
December
2016.
2016. Okay. Now, Zorawar, we would like to know your experience. Your experience and how you decided to join the defense services. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you had plans to join Navy, but then you did not.
Yes, ma'am. I had applied for all the entry schemes, ma'am, that were available to me after class 12, including Air Force, Navy, and the Army. I had gotten through the Army and the Navy, ma'am, and eventually I decided to join the Army, as it would have given me more opportunity to go in the various parts of the country, give different experiences, because the Navy is more or less limited to the coastal regions, and that can give you more opportunities. That remains a different choice. It was once taken by me in my class 12, and now I'm with it for the rest of my life. Ma'am, my personal experience with Army would be, ma'am, I took this decision right after class 12. I didn't have the exposure of a college life, or what people say that which opens your horizons, that all you can do in your life. I straight away went to the academy after class 12. I was here for 4 years. I got admission last December, ma'am. And the experiences, I would like to just say one word to all the aspirants who are planning to join the services, Army, Navy, or Air Force right after their schooling, is that it's once in a lifetime experience. 2 years will transform you mentally, physically, and socially in a way which no other college or entry or other profession. It has its own charm. The 4 years of training. It was by far the toughest thing that I have ever faced in my life. If you ask me to travel from one part of the country to the other on foot, and you ask me to be live those 4 years, I would happily do the traveling part at least 3 times all over again in my life, ma'am. But I won't go. But it still remains one of the most experiences of my life. The time I had spent in the course, mate. So it's an experience which is not probably I won't be able to explain it in words in front of anybody. It's something that you have to experience first time. But to all the aspirants, ma'am, plan to join after class 12, which unfortunately is not applicable to women in our country as of now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
More of a guy, boys thing, ma'am. Only boys have the uh, available joining the academy after class 12.
Class 12.
But if there are aspirants who want to take this decision in their life, I'll have one advice for them, that go for it. It will probably be the best decision of their life. The time they'll spend there, the friends they'll make there, the bonds they'll make there, and eventually everything will go away. But that decision will always stay with them.
Okay, now Zorawar, you have to tell me. Like, I know few kids who thought that they'd be able to carry on with the training at the academy, and I know a lot of kids, who couldn't kind of do it, and they broke in between, and they kind of, their parents had to go and bring them back. So, what kind of motivation, or rather what kind of physical and mental strength one requires to go through this? Or why do you think that those kids, they kind of just step back in between?
Ma'am, the 4 years of training, or 1.5 years of training, or 1 year of training in any entry is different from everybody, ma'am. Not everybody gets rogered the same amount. Not everybody has to go through the same things. Some people have it easy. for the 4 years. Some people have to face the hardships more than the others in the 4 years. So it's not sacrosanct that everybody gets the same training. But even if you take the worst case scenario that all the worst things happen to you for your 4 years of stay at an academy, ma'am, only one thing which should be in your mind for you to sail through that for those 4 years would be your mental robustness and your will to carry on. Like ma'am, one of the previous speakers had said that her mother told her that every week is going to be a new week.
Yes.
I had a different philosophy, ma'am, that every day is going to be a new day. No matter how hard things were going for me, I just held on to the fact or the opinion that let's see tomorrow, it might be better than today. I gave a call back to my home, ma'am, that I want to quit, I don't want to continue. And my dad said these words to me that wait for tomorrow, it might be a good day. Ma'am, the officers there, you have your address on your first day of academy, and our adjutant told us one thing that no matter how bad things are going for you, just keep these words in your mind. This too shall pass, and it shall be over anytime soon. And ma'am, with these 4 words in our mind that this too shall pass, 4 years felt like a week. And now that we look back, I can easily recall every day of the last 4 years with the utmost of details and all the things that we have gone through. So it's all in the mind, ma'am. I have seen my course mates who joined with me who were very weak in physicals, who couldn't do even a single chin-up or can't even run a single mile. And now, ma'am, they are one of the best marathon runners. They are one of the strongest guys I have ever seen. So it's all mental, ma'am. Physical. If you're physically weak and you have this notion in your head that you won't be able to go through the 4 years, it's not like that. It's all mental. If you stay in for one more day, if you are ready to see the next day, you are ready to improve, and you shall definitely pass out with your own postmates, and you should see the light at the end of the tunnel.
My God, I'm feeling so emotional to listen to you because your childhood is just flashing right in front of my eyes, and I feel so proud. Yeah, I feel so proud. And Zoravar, how to prepare yourself for an NDA exam or to get into the academy? Both
Ma'am, for the
physically and
NDA,
yeah.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for NDA, you have to appear for a written test after your class 12. After that, you clear the merit for the written test. Then you apply for your SSB. And on the basis of both your interview and your written test, a combined merit list is prepared. And according to the vacancies in your particular term or the course which is scheduled to start that year, your call letters are issued and the particular numbers are asked to join the academy on a certain date. Ma'am, but in my case, I was a technical entry. It's only applicable for all those young gentlemen who are pursuing their class 12th with science as their stream. Basically, physics, chemistry, maths as their primary subjects. So, on the basis of your class 12 results, every year, every term basically, which is 6 months, you are issued with the new cutoff, which is roughly between 80 to 85%. And if you are within that bracket, you can easily apply for SSBs. You don't have to appear for a written examination. You straight away appear for your SSBs. You get a call letter for your SSB. And from there onwards, the process remains the same. You appear for SSBs, you clear that, you give your medicals, there's a merit list, and you join the academy. The NDA training happens 3 years in NDA, 1 year in IMA for the Army, 1 year in AFA for the Air Force, and 1 year at the INA for the Navy. But in our entry, it's only for the Army. So your first year happens at OTA Gaya, which is different from OTA Chennai, and then 3 years at a cadets training wing. There are three as of now in Indian Army. One is in Pune, which is affiliated to the Corps of Engineers. One is in the Secunderabad, which is affiliated to the Corps of EME, and one is in Mau, which is affiliated to Corps of Signals. So you do 1 + 3 years of training after your SSB, and then you get commissioned, and then you complete your remaining of your BTech degree. That's the most special part about this entry, ma'am, that in NDA you are given a BSc, a BSc degree, but here you are pursuing a BTech degree along with your training. So for that's the only difference, ma'am, between NDA and technical entry.
Okay. Thank you, Zoravar. I'll just come back to you. Is Atharv there or has he left? He is the youngest. He has just passed out from NDA. Atharv, are you there? I can't see him. Yeah. Sharath, I just request you
Yes, ma'am.
to just give any suggestion or any message that you would like to give to the students.
The message, ma'am, as all my previous speakers have already said, go forward and give a try. And even if you fail, it doesn't matter. It is not something that you have done before. It is not something that you may have expected, but it is definitely something that you should try for, and maybe you will succeed if you keep pushing for just another day.
Okay, so that's
So
your.
you should always try for it.
You shouldn't give it up.
Yeah, exactly, ma'am. That is what the entire training, entire Forge, teaches you. Don't give up.
So, Sharath, any incident that you would like to tell us, the most challenging or something which is there in your mind, probably in school or while you were training yourself as a pilot, or anything else?
Ma'am, training as a pilot is an experience altogether. It's a different experience altogether. I mean, right from the moment you first enter the aircraft and till the moment that I'm flying right now, it has been one hell of a ride. And anyone who goes through it will have the same opinion. The first solo, you clearly remember the first solo, the first time you puke inside the cockpit.
Oh.
The first time you go up in the air and the first time you puke inside the cockpit, the first time your head goes round. All these things you will remember. All the funny incidents. The amount of workload that you have as a single pilot inside cockpit is so high that you tend to forget things or you tend to do things which you don't remember after coming on ground. So all those funny things that you do in the air, all the medical aspects to it, that you may get dizzy, hypoxic, all those things. Those are all incidents which you remember, and plus the bond that you share with your instructor is next to, like, after your parents comes your instructor. It is that kind of a bond, because you go up in air trusting your instructor with your life, and that is something that Air Force, especially military aviation, teaches you, that you trust your life is dependent on someone else who goes up in air with you. He clears your tail, I clear his tail. That is the basic notion of a fighter pilot in Air Force. So your life is dependent on someone else. So that is something that is imbibed and taught to you right from your basic stage till the time you graduate as a fighter pilot. I'm talking just about fighters. Similar is the case with transport and hepters also. Thank you so much, ma'am. And it was lovely speaking to all the audience, and especially to you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Bye bye, beta.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah, Atharv is there. Welcome, beta. Now, Atharv is, I was Atharv's class teacher, okay, in class 5th. So, after class 5th, I'm seeing him here as an officer, and he has become a pilot. So, truly very, very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. So Atharv Kulkarni, he's an alumnus of APS Pune, and he has done his he's from 133 course NDA, and then subsequently he went to the Air Force Academy, and he is commissioned to the fighter stream, presently flying Hawks. So that was his introduction. So Atharv, you tell us about your journey.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, first of all, everyone. As you can see, after 12th, I had joined NDA.
Yeah.
So, kind of life has been easier in the sense that you don't have to take the tension of future, career, and all that. So, as soon as you get into NDA, that's what everyone thinks, that everything's over. But it's just the beginning. My father is also an ex-NDA, so because of that, I was aware about forces and obviously inclined towards it from the beginning only. And that's why I had joined NDA. Actually, before that, I was in Sainik School kind of institute, that is Services Preparatory Institute. which is in Aurangabad, which prepared me for the written exam as well as the service selection board. However, even after this preparation and all that, in the first attempt, I was not able to make it through. And it was in the second attempt only. The first attempt, I cleared my exam, UPSC, and went to the SSB. However, I was conference out in that one. In the second one, I was able to clear it and joined India in the 133rd course. I think everyone till now has been direct entry, CDS and AFCAT and all that. If I'm right, I'm not sure, ma'am. Any other ex-NDA, ma'am?
Ex-NDA, nahin.
Okay.
Ex-NDA. Nobody was there ex-NDA, right? Zorawar wasn't ex-NDA, and even this one Sharath wasn't. And Zorawar, are you ex-NDA? No, you're not.
No, ma'am. I'm pretty close to them. I'm ex-TES.
Okay.
Okay, CME.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so just
where you
tell about.
yeah, just
I'll tell about the training at NDA.
yeah.
It is pretty much easy if you accept it. If you feel that you want to fight it and you feel that you are different, then obviously it's difficult. Like the same as it would be for CME also. The training regimen is mostly physical. Study-wise is less as compared in NDA in the beginning of the semesters, in the first 4 semesters. So that is like more into the physical only. Subsequently, as you come into the 5th and 6th semester, that is the 5th term and 6th term, then that is the time when you start your specific service related studies. So that is the time you actually not the first time, but that is the time when you pick up the books and start studying. And since I'm in the Air Force, so as soon as you start the studying at that point of time, it doesn't stop. And since XND only takes pilot entries, now actually it has been started as this also ground entry. Otherwise, previously it was only pilot entries. So your studies as a pilot, they never stop. So like I believe previously Flight Lieutenant Sharath also said that the study wise it is always, as it is in the outside also, civil also, I feel that they also have to continuously get themselves updated regarding the latest whatever new courses and all that they have. So it has to they have to keep doing that. Similar it is in the forces also. Whether you are in the Army, Air Force or Navy, you have to keep doing that upgradation of studies. And so that myth of getting in the forces or Zindagi Asan hai, no studies, that is just wrong and futile. So you're just studying continuously. And
so Atharv, you tell me, I asked a similar question to Zorawar also, that I know kids who kind of just dropped out of NDA and they came back home because they couldn't kind of take the physical and the mental pressure over there. Whatever you can say, I mean, so what is your take on that? What do you feel that what kind of mental strength or capability, or rather what got you going?
I would like to say, ma'am, NDA teaches, the most important thing that NDA teaches is it's not in the body, it's in the brain. So if you have that mental strength, or which actually NDA develops slowly, it initially first few days is such that they are very grueling. But you are into a new environment, you don't know what is where, and NDA being so huge, you can't just remember wherever things are. So you are lost in the beginning. And then there are the seniors who are continuously pushing you. And so it's the beginning is like a test. If you pass that grueling time, then you're going to stay forever, then you'll never have any trouble. But at that point only you start thinking that, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Then that's where it happens that you feel like leaving. Otherwise, that NDA has that, it teaches everything Everything is through the brain. Nobody would have thought that they would run 14-15 kilometers. Similarly, in all the forces, also wearing packs or wearing whatnot things and doing whatnot things. So no one thought that we would be doing such things. But eventually, you start doing that. It's all in the brain. It's just mental power. They will
okay. Yeah. So,
Yes.
Athar, can you just remember something challenging or something which you would like to share and how you have coped up with it?
Challenging wise, NDA itself is challenging. However, I'll just give an example of the camps. Camps are like, ma'am, for Torna camp. Torna camp is a 7-day camp. Eventually, first you start with normal basic exercises, tent pitching throughout. It is like in the daytime you'll have classes from 8 o'clock or so. They'll stay continuous till lunchtime. Then from lunchtime to evening 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you'll have some other exercise kind of tactical exercise. They'll teach something related to army and all that. And then eventually evening 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, by the time it is night, then you'll have some running exercise in which you have to map is given. You have to find out they'll tell you the coordinates and you have to find the checkpoints and hit them at the earliest, because it is a competition between all the 18 squadrons.
Okay.
Now, in the end of this camp, this schedule follows for 7 days with the classes in the morning, evening, exercises, and running in the night. So you're actually sleepless. Plus, you have to dig the trenches and all that within the whatever free time, lunch break, breakfast break, dinner break, whatever you get, you have to do all that work also. So after this 6 days, the 7th night is actually the run back, which is you will be taken through bus approximately, let's say, 60 to 70 kilometers away from NDA.
Okay. So you have to run back those kilometers.
Yes, ma'am. That you have to run back with the pack, which is approximately, I'll say, 13 to 15 kgs, and another one INSAS rifle. So rifle is weight, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's 5 kg close to. So with all that, you have to run back, and that is, if you know NDA is through the hills. Everything, it is in between the hills.
Yeah, we were there. We were there for 3 years in NDA.
And specifically to enhance the difficulty, they'll keep the checkpoints at the top of the hills. So you are like in the camps, you are actually climbing vertical walls of the hills, and that continuous 60-70 kilometers is without a break. You are running, maybe at times, maybe someone gets injured, you will walk for some time, but then again you'll run. And it is a competition. If you lose, then you're again going to get bajawed, as we call it, which is again another more physical exercises.
Okay.
So this is what would be challenging. Means you wouldn't have run 60 kilometers before that ever. It is in the camp you would be running. You'll be doing practices, but it won't be so much of like 50-60 kilometers. You'll be doing practices of 20-30 kilometers at the most, maximum.
Okay. So Athar, what would you, I want you to give a message to the children so that they keep that in mind if they want to join NDA.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to say that although whatever I said is like very physically tough and all that, it is nothing like that. It will help you realize what your potential is, what your body can go through, and what your brain can make you go through. It is nothing. No one can say that I'm not able to do this. Everyone is capable of doing everything. So that's what NDA brings out in you, and subsequently the forces also do the same thing. Which it makes you do things, means it increases the patriotism inside you, due to which you can do such things. Patriotism and other feelings which come out from inside you, which you might not even be aware of. So as a career wise, I would like to say that forces are a very good choice, and it is a very happy life, you can say. You might say कि पूरा हफ्ता काम करना पड़ रहा है and all that. It's lot of work. Morning PT है, evening में offices है, evening में PT है, फिर no free time and all that. But eventually you gel up with everyone, everything, and the weekends are free. So at times free, not free,
So the
but you will be
quality,
happy.
yeah. So the quality of life is definitely better.
Yes, ma'am. It is, the importance is being happy. So that happiness you get from the people around you.
Yeah. And all the charm of being in uniform and the kind of
Yes,
you know you can charm a lot of people, and then the kind of importance you get amongst your friends and your relatives and your teachers.
yes,
So
ma'am.
that's like really really very nice. Okay, thank you so
Yes.
much, Atarv. I'm just going back to Zoravar for a message, and then I think we'll end the meeting. Zoravar, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, I love the national flag which is right behind you, and it speaks so much about you. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Zoravar, one message for the kids, for the students who would like to kind of move into your shoes. So
Ma'am, I would say, ma'am, that the very fact that this is a kind of a career aspiration talk that we're having here, ma'am, that none of the forces can be taken as a career option, ma'am, because I personally believe that it's not a career, ma'am, and it's a service. It's more over of a profession which you take up, not thinking that you'll climb that corporate ladder and you'll reach a particular post over 20 years of life.
correct.
That's the very motto of all the organizations and all the institutes which basically train officers. Uh, NDA has its own motto as service before self. That's the thing that nowadays it is more being looked like career by the younger generation. Not even this generation. Even I have seen officers who are into the service, 10 years of service, 12 years of service, picking in the ranks of a colonel right now. Still think of it as a career. They just want to grow up the ladder, reach higher ranks, and retire and get themselves a good and cozy life. But if any of the younger lot who's actually listening to this talk think the same, then I think that they should not actually join this and would probably do much better in corporate arena. But if you want to have a different life for yourself, if you want to actually serve and want to experience something way more than just a job, then close your eyes, fill the whichever form is coming out next for any of the services, and I can guarantee you that you'll be doing uh, wonders for yourself and for the organization as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Zoravar. God bless
My
you,
pleasure,
Beta.
ma'am.
Hazel, are you there? I just want to thank her also. I think Pritha must have left, and Jagriti's baby
Yes,
was
now I'm
back.
here, ma'am.
Yeah, Hazel, thank you so much. Thank you so much,
It was a
Hazel,
pleasure,
for joining us today. Yeah,
ma'am.
and I am sure that your message to the kids and your output and whatever you have told them, it will be definitely beneficial to a lot of kids, and it will
Thank
really really help them to understand that how things work and what are the various options they have in the different services. Yes. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Hazel. Thanks for time.
ma'am.
Thank you, Zoravar. Thank you, Athar. Jagriti, thank you so much. Pritha, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sharad has already left, so I've already thanked him. And God bless everyone. And keep making me proud. uh, thank you, Mrs. Patil, and thank you,
Yes,
Pritha, for
ma'am.
joining us. Yeah.
मैम बहुत बहुत अच्छा लगा थैंक यू